Hepatitis C is quite common. About 300,000 Canadians are living with this disease. That's a pretty high number. A leading cause of chronic liver disease, transplant, and failure. And this disease is on the rise. But our health specialist Leah Sarich is here now with how there are two new treatments on the horizon that could cure. You say cure these patients.
The word, and I never say the word cure.
Yeah, you have to be very careful.
Yeah, I never say that, but this is the case in this situation. So it's really quite exciting. Now, so just let's put this in a little bit of context. So let's first off, what exactly is hepatitis anyway? Because you hear about hepatitis A, B, C. Basically, anything that can cause any kind of inflammation in the liver is a hepatitis.
Okay.
So most of the time it's viruses, but it can also be things like alcohol, drugs, immune diseases. These can all cause inflammation of the liver. So today we're talking about hepatitis C because the incidence of hepatitis C is shooting through the roof, particularly right across the country, but even here in Calgary, they're seeing a massive increase.
Wow.
The majority of them were infected 20, 30 years ago in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and they've now had time to progress to develop severe liver disease or cirrhosis. So this epidemic that's looming actually is due to patients aging and developing cirrhosis and then having complications of cirrhosis like liver failure, liver cancer, need for liver transplants, etc. So we're right in the midst of that right now. Even in Calgary, over the last 10 years, we've seen about a fourfold rise in patients we're hospitalizing just because of hepatitis C alone. And it's only going to get worse for the next 10 years or so.
So it's only going to get worse. So he'd said a fourfold increase in hospitalizations just here in Calgary alone, just for hepatitis C. So what's happening is 30% of these patients don't even know they have hepatitis C. It's one of those diseases where it has to be very, very advanced, so you actually already have severe liver damage before you start showing symptoms.
Right.
So that's what's going on here. So currently the treatments include interferon combined with a few other medications. This combination can already cure about 75% of patients. So we're already curing patients with hepatitis C, but the problem is that the combination therapy they're using right now has very toxic side effects. So toxic that some patients can't even get through the entire course of the therapy. So we're talking things like severe flu-like symptoms, depression, anemia, very severe side effects. But what's really exciting is that Canadian researchers, so this is Canadian research, it's very exciting, they've found two drugs that work better and they even have fewer side effects.
In some phase 3 studies where they looked at combining this faldaprevir with the interferon and ribavirin, which I talked about earlier, cure rates in the range of 75% were seen, and minimal side effects were seen with these, unlike currently available therapies, which many patients have to stop early due to side effects. And as well, one of the benefits of this new therapy is that whereas the majority of patients need to be treated for a full year with these old therapies, roughly 80% of patients on these new therapies can get only 6 months of treatment. So you have better drugs, less toxicity, and also much shorter duration of therapy, so patients won't have any the side effects for as long a period of time.
Wow, so this is really exciting. The other exciting bit of research that came out very recently is that when you take those two new drugs that Dr. Myers was talking about, if you take those two drugs and combine them with two other drugs, so you're looking at sort of a cocktail approach, they can actually cure all of the patients. What? Yes, and not only curing them, but doing it in like 12 weeks' time.
Wow.
So this is very, very exciting research. So, and the wonderful news is that this isn't happening, 10 years down the road. Because these are phase 3 clinical trials, Dr. Myers thinks, these things could be on the market by next year.
That's fantastic.
It's huge news. It's huge news. So it's really wonderful news, providing a lot of hope for these hepatitis C patients.
Okay, so hopefully just
hang in there. Yeah.
Wow. And more information, as
Online.
always, on your blog, breakfasttelevision.ca.